It was a revelation that sent shockwaves through Nigeria's political elite. In 1949, as the country inched toward independence, a confidential letter from Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe surfaced, allegedly leaked by a radio station. In this letter, Zik reportedly proclaimed the superiority of the Igbo people, asserting that they were destined to rule Nigeria. The response from other regions, the North, the West, and the minorities, was a cautious silence. They chose to observe rather than react, but beneath the surface, tensions simmered. Fast forward a decade, and the fallout from this mindset would come to define Nigeria's first republic, with betrayals, power struggles, and unforeseen consequences that still shape the nation today. The December 12, 1959, House of Representatives election was a pivotal moment. The Northern People's Congress, NPC, secured 134 seats, the National Council of Nigeria, and the Cameroons, NCNC, 189, and the Action Group, AG, claimed 73. No party had the outright majority of 156 seats required to form a government alone. This set the stage for alliances and betrayals that would alter the course of Nigeria's history. Chief Obafemi Awolowo, leader of the AG, recognizing the numerical advantage of an alliance with the NCNC, approached Dr. Azikiwe with a proposal. Under the agreement, Zik would become prime minister, the head of government, while AWO would assume the critical role of finance minister. The idea was enticing. It meant an NCNC-AG coalition government that could shape Nigeria's early years with strong economic policies and progressive governance. The scheduled meeting discussions began in earnest, and a meeting was scheduled in Asaba to finalize the arrangement. However, what unfolded next stunned Awolowo and his supporters. While AG representatives waited in Asaba for their NCNC counterparts, news broke on the radio. Azikiwe had struck a deal with the NPC instead. In this new arrangement, Zik would become Nigeria's ceremonial president, while Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa of the NPC would assume the all-powerful role of prime minister. Awolowo and his allies were blindsided. Zik had not informed them of his change in plans. Instead, he had left them in the dark, allowing them to prepare for a meeting that would never happen. Even Ghana's leader, Kwame Nkrumah, was reportedly furious, questioning why a man of Azikiwe's intellect would settle for a ceremonial role instead of leading the government. It was a betrayal that would sow the seeds of distrust and reshape Nigeria's political landscape. Many in the NCNC leadership believed that by aligning with the North, they could manipulate the NPC's less educated politicians to their advantage. They underestimated the political acumen of the Northern elite. Zik, now relegated to a ceremonial role, quickly found himself sidelined. The real power lay with Balewa and the Northern establishment, who controlled the government's operations and direction. This strategic miscalculation would have far-reaching consequences. Many Igbo elites were deeply disappointed, viewing Zik's decision as a historic blunder. It was this frustration that contributed to the military coup of January 15, 1966, led by predominantly Igbo officers. The coup, which resulted in the assassination of top leaders from the North and West, including Prime Minister Balewa, was perceived as an Igbo attempt to reclaim lost dominance. Following the coup, Major General Aguiyi Ironsi, an Igbo officer, assumed power. However, instead of punishing those responsible for the killings, many of whom were fellow Igbo, Ironsi's inaction only fueled Northern suspicions. The North saw his hesitancy as evidence of ethnic favoritism. What followed was the counter-coup of July 29, 1966, led by Northern officers, which resulted in Ironsi's assassination and the mass killing of Igbo people in the North. This event further deepened ethnic divisions, setting Nigeria on a path to civil war. Beyond the high-level politics, the ethnic tensions also played out in civil service appointments. Under Azikiwe's leadership, the eastern region heavily favored Igbo dominance in administrative roles. Non-Igbos, particularly the Ikwere people in Port Harcourt, were sidelined, with government institutions and streets named exclusively after Igbo figures. It was only years later that leaders like Melford Okilo began reversing this trend, restoring recognition to the indigenous population. Even today, many of the grievances in Nigeria's political discourse stem from the fallout of these early decisions. While ethnic prejudices continue to shape narratives, one undeniable truth remains. Nigeria's political history is a story of missed opportunities, miscalculations, and the high cost of betrayal. The events that unfolded from 1949 to the 1960s were defining moments in Nigeria's political evolution. The ambitions of individuals, the strategic errors of key players, and the deep-seated ethnic rivalries all contributed to the fragile state of Nigeria's unity. While history should not be distorted, it should serve as a lesson to the new generation of Nigerians. The cost of betrayal, mistrust, and short-term political gains can have long-lasting consequences.